horse disappeared into the distance, the whites finally got the Toyota to go forwards, much to the delight of a big crowd of onlookers. Back to the front of the field with the Ellis Lehman Signs Raceco in the hands of Dowse and co-driver Penning in the lead. That was a bit of a turn-up for the books, but chasing after them were Mark Corbett and Juan Moore, who almost came to grief in the Jimco. A little wake-up call for Corbett and Moore, but no harm done in the end as the pair chased after Dowse and Penning. The action at the front of the special vehicle field was hotting up with Eastern Cape pair Greg Harvey and Boy Stone trying to close in on Corbett and Moore. Harvey and Stone have twice this season picked up second places and were looking for that elusive first win in the Castrol Queen Motor Spares entry. Harvey and Stone were in turn being chased by Special Vehicle Championship leaders Shamir Variawa and Bucks Carolyn in the Cornbake Jimco, with the pair perhaps driving for points rather than an outright win. John Weir-Smith and Jeff Minnett in the Dark Dog Raceco had joined the fray in the Special Vehicle Shootout, and gradually moving up to join them were reigning champions Franz Czepek, Senior and Junior, in the Epson V Motors Raceco. The father and son pair have been plagued by dreadful luck this season and were hoping the Caledon 400 would produce a long overdue return to top form. The first of the production vehicles on the road was the N1 4x4 Toyota Land Cruiser of Cliff Wiecheld and Johan Smelberger, with the pair also among the finds of the season. The distinctive yellow Land Cruiser was first on the road, but now leading on corrected time were production vehicle championship leaders Neil Woolrich and Kenny Schulthammer in the factory Mitsubishi Pajero. The former bikers were gradually tightening their hold on clinching the production vehicle championship, but on some of the wetter and muddier sections of the route it was tough going. With a national title at stake, Woolrich and Schulthammer were understandably not about to take any unnecessary risks. Moving into contention on corrected time were Cliff Barker and Vic Camphor, who won the production vehicle category on the QuickFit 400. The Quadrisure Land Rover was sounding healthy, with Barker and Camphor vastly experienced in the vagaries of off-road competition. Behind the Land Rover, the Nissan Hardbody of Class D championship leaders Hein Probler and Charles Volmerans was gradually losing ground to the factory Mitsubishi Colt of Enzo Kuhn and Francois Jordan. Kuhn and Jordan were running with experimental suspension settings that appeared to be working. The refugees from the rally scene were busy consolidating their Class D advantage, and on a clean run, a single puncture was the only problem reported by the pair. The Toyota Land Cruiser of off-road veterans Pete Haasbroek and Christo Bosch was also in contention for the Class D honours, with the pair going along as steadily as ever. While Haasbroek and Bosch were plugging along, Brandon Harkus and Tom Smith were on a charge after running into steering problems. They were well into the catch-up game when the wheels literally fell off their challenge.
Our steering broke after the first pit stop. We hit a square bump, broke the little knuckle off on the steering rack, and obviously it's damaged the kingpins and link pins.
Well, there's never a shortage of locusts in the Free State, and plenty to eat for them. And the locusts and Harkus and Smith were bystanders when the advance guard of bikers arrived on the scene. Alfie Cox on the Natro freight Castrol KTM now led from Clayton Ensland on the Shimwells Yamaha, but at this stage there was nothing in it. Grey Dick on the big Suzuki 400 was right behind the pair with the trio in sight of each other. It was a case of a Gauteng rider being sandwiched between the two KwaZulu Italians, and not far behind them was Jade Goodseat on the Gas 250, who has performed consistently well all season. There was a small gap between Goodseat and Brendan Crooks on the Millimore Honda 500, with the KwaZulu-Natal Brigade showing up well. The big open category machines are a handful on tighter sections of the course, with extra power having to be balanced by better handling from the smaller capacity machines. Eastern Cape rider Andrew Ogden was going along well on another KTM entry, with Stefan van Pletsen making his presence felt on a Millimore Honda running in the 250 category. Right behind Van Pletsen was reigning 200 class champion Wayne Farmer, who was leading the category on the Russell Campbell Racing Kawasaki. The stranded Brandon Harkus and Tom Smith have now lost interest in proceedings and were having a rest in the shade under the Finstruck Raceco when quad leader Brandon Martin put in an appearance on the 5-star Motors Yamaha. For many, the Quad Brigade are the unsung heroes of off-road racing, with the big four-wheelers requiring supreme fitness, skill, and high levels of concentration. A cloud of dust heralded the arrival of Cornel de Villiers on the Tracks World Bombardier. De Villiers went into the Caledon 400 lying 5th in the championship and was one of 4 riders separated by only 11 points. A good finish would not do his championship cause any harm. Championship contender Badenhorst was fourth on the road on the CJ Yamaha and was followed by Louis Bossoff on one of the Sally's Racing Yamaha Banshee entries. But Strubeck was not in the top 5. Refuel and service points on off-road races are a little like life in the army. It's a case of hurry and wait. And then there are bursts of frantic activity where technical crew, family and other helpers try and get competitors back into the fray as quickly as possible. For the lucky ones, service halts are whistle stops. Others are not quite so lucky, and valuable time goes ticking by as major repair jobs are carried out under often difficult circumstances. Sort of drama, and there was plenty of that where Mark Corbett and Juan Moore were concerned. The pair looked to be set for their 3rd win of the season, but after the event were excluded from the results for receiving outside assistance along the route. With Corbett and Moore out of the equation, Franz Czepek Sr. and Jr. now led the special vehicle category and overall on corrected time. For the Epson V Motors Raceco pair, their run of misfortune had ended at just the right time. Pockets of spectators were to be found at vantage points along the route, and for Eastern Cape pair Greg Harvey and Boy Stone, that elusive first win of the season still looked out of reach. The Castrol Queen Motorspares pair were a little better off than John Weir Smith and Jeff Minnett.
What happened?
We've just broken the side shaft off. So, game over.
There was clear evidence that the Dark Dog Raceco was hors de combat, but still closing inexorably in on the production vehicle title were Mitsubishi Pajero factory pair Neil Woolrich and Kenny Schulthammer. The pair had come up with a clean run that had taken them well clear of Cliff Barker and Vic Camphor in the Quadrishaw Land Rover. Just behind the Pajero on the road were Cliff Wichel and Johann Smalberger, but the Toyota Land Cruiser had also lost time. 2 punctures and a loose fuel line dropped Wichelt and Smalberger down the pecking order, and one of the crews to overtake them was Joubert and Grisa in the crowd-pleasing 4x4 Jojo Tanks VW Beetle, which is powered by a turbocharged Volvo engine. On corrected time, the Beetle was now 4th in Class A. There was encouragement for the Castrol Toyota factory team, with Arpi Reinecker and Robin Houghton running 3rd in the production vehicle category. First time out in the new Land Cruiser. Enzo Kuhn and Francois Jourdain were still leading Class D in the Mitsubishi Colt, although a faulty engine sensor played havoc with the Colt's fuel consumption, with the pair forced to refuel 4 times at unscheduled stops. Cliff Barker and Vic Camphor were on their way to another podium finish in the Quadrishaw Land Rover, with a puncture and jack problems costing the pair 10 minutes. From a championship point of view, Hein Hrobler and Charles Volmerans were satisfied with 2nd in Class D in the Nissan Hardbody. While in Class E, the Birkin brothers took a win that put them equal on points with the Quinn Mitsubishi Pajero, with only the roof of Africa to come. The Berthold family were also back to their winning ways, with veteran Bodo and son Gary teaming up to win Class B in the M&E Glass Raceco. No prizes for guessing who was leading the bike category, with Alfie Cox on the Natro Freight Castrol KTM gradually opening up a gap on Clayton Ensslin as the day progressed. Ensslin still led the 250 class on the Shimwells Yamaha, with Jade Goodseed sticking to his guns on the Gaz entry to move into 3rd place after a typically steady and uncomplicated ride. Just missing out on a podium place was Brendan Crooks on the Millen Moore Honda, with the 200 category still being led by reigning champion Wayne Farmer on the Russell Campbell Racing Kawasaki. On the quad front, Brendan Badenhorst had gradually worn down the opposition. There was a little late hiccup for Badenhorst, but he was around 5 minutes clear of Cornel de Villiers and set to take over the championship lead from Jacques Strubeck, who found himself classified among the non-finishers. For the Czepek father and son combination, the wheel was about to turn full circle. After a season they would rather forget, everything suddenly fell into place for the reigning special vehicle champions. Steering clear of mechanical gremlins that have plagued them all season, the pair brought the Epson V Motors Raceco home to a comfortable overall and special vehicle category victory. Well, the spoils of victory and the traditional bubbly flowed as the Czepeks congratulated each other and celebrated a victory that saw them come home ahead of the still winless Greg Harvey and Boy Stone. Championship leaders Shamir Variauer and Bucks Carolyn came home in 3rd place, and a non-finish for Heel Nell now gives Variauer and Carolyn a little breathing space in the Special Vehicle Championship.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've won an event, and we've had a tough year up until now. It's been a tough year with a new car, a lot of teething problems, but we seem to have overcome them all, and we had a great event today. The car just went beautifully.
Second overall and first in the production vehicle category went to Neil Woolwich and Kenny Schulthammer in the factory Mitsubishi Pajero. It was their 5th victory of the season and wrapped up the production vehicle championship for the former bike stars. Second were Cliff Barker and Vic Camphor, with Arpi Reinecker and Robin Houghton earning a podium place first time out in the new Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser.
Fantastic, eh? No problems at all. A very demanding race. I must say congratulations to the organisers. They put on a fantastic event. Not only well marked and well organised, but a very demanding course. But nothing stupid in it. You know, everybody able to get round. Very demanding. Total concentration all the time, and we had a good run.
Putting the finishing touches to yet another national championship win was the maestro, Alfie Cox, on the Natro Freight Castrol KTM. Cox was just under half a minute ahead of Clayton Enslin after a tough day and a close battle between the pair. There was delight in the KTM camp as Cox went to the top of the 500 class championship. Second overall gave Clayton Enslin the 250 class on the Shimwells Yamaha, with the 200 category going to reigning champion Wayne Farmer on the Russell Campbell Racing Kawasaki.
Clayton's just been putting pressure on the whole day, and it hasn't been an easy win for me, I can tell you now. I thought, you know, that he was slacking off on the second half. I got away a little bit, and as I slacked off a little bit, he came back again. So it's been, and Grey Dick too, I take my hat off to him. He rode that Suzuki 400, I promise you, he was riding like an absolute man possessed, and unfortunately he ran out of fuel. It would have been a great race right to the end. But I'm happy to win, and you know, it's not over yet.
After a slow start to the day, Brendan Badenhorst slowly started to come into his own in the quad category. He gradually picked off the opposition and in the end was a comfortable winner, ahead of Cornell de Villiers and early pace setter Brandon Martin.
Brendan Badenhorst comes in first on the quad.
There was also a happy reception party for Badenhorst at the finish. The win also took Badenhorst to the top of the championship table, with only the Roof of Africa rally to come.
Start of the day I was feeling a little sick, so I dropped back a few places, but my pit crew out there giving me a few words really made me feel better. Thank you so much.